All right, with that, let's shift our focus to global updates now. America's war against Iran is now in its 6th month, and President Donald Trump says that no talks with Tehran are underway at the moment and none are scheduled. A memorandum of understanding signed on the 17th of June this year had, remember, set a 60-day time frame for a broader deal on Iran's nuclear program and American sanctions. That period lapsed on Monday this week, and Trump said that he had no plans to extend it. The war, which began with joint U.S.-Israeli strikes against Iran, has now settled into a standoff, with Iran continuing to threaten shipping in the Strait of Hormuz and Washington saying it could renew attacks if talks do not yield a long-term settlement. A new Financial Times report suggests that Iran is considering options, including expanding retaliatory strikes to Europe, particularly to Bulgaria and Cyprus, in case the United States restarts this war. The report, remember, comes after Iranian Deputy Foreign Minister Qasem Gharibabadi warned Trump over his post showing the Hormuz as a new American territory. He said the U.S. president's claim over the strategic waterway would be corrected, while labeling his assertion as a delusion. Donald Trump had insisted that the choke point through which a fifth of the world's oil would usually transit was open with all mines removed or detonated. It was in contradiction to Iran's assertion that the critical waterway remained shut to shipping. Top Iranian negotiator and Parliament Speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf said that Hormuz would remain shut until the United States meets the conditions of the interim deal. These conditions include America ending its blockade of the Iranian ports, lifting oil sanctions, releasing Tehran's frozen assets, and ending threats and military operations on all fronts. Ghalibaf has accused the United States of squeezing Tehran for concession. As per the data tracking service Kepler, Iran has lost significant control of the Hormuz, with over 80% of vessels taking the Omani route in the past 2 weeks. Qatar, meanwhile, has said that an agreement over Hormuz would help in resuming talks between Iran and the U.S. American sources have told media agency AFP that Trump has decided to wait and asked his team not to engage in talks until Iran was ready to make a deal. His administration is set to be pushing for off-ramps as the midterm elections are approaching in November this year, and his approval ratings are dipping. It has, in fact, hit the lowest level of his presidency so far, with an overwhelming majority of Americans concerned that the West Asia war will last a long time. A Reuters Ipsos poll that concluded on Monday this week shows just 33% of respondents in the 4-day survey said that they approved of Donald Trump's performance in the White House, while 64% disapproved. The approval rating is the lowest ever during this term and matches the lowest seen in December of 2017 during his first term. Now, given the situation, Trump is trapped in a dilemma: escalate or not. Well, we earlier spoke with Dr. Mir Javed Anfar from Tel Aviv. He's a lecturer of Iranian politics at the Reshman University in Israel and co-author of The Nuclear Sphinx of Tehran. Listen in to what he had to say.
President Trump is in a very difficult position. If he escalates, as you quite rightly said, it could lead to increased attacks against the infrastructure of the Persian Gulf countries, especially, and U.S. bases in the Persian Gulf states and Jordan. But if he, at the same time, if he capitulates or gives Iran what it wants, or something that looks like what Iran wants, then that's going to really undermine the standing of the United States in the region. And we have to remember, history matters. History doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. Every time the U.S. seemed to be evacuating or withdrawing from somewhere, then that gave the signal to one of its rivals to interpret it as weakness and for them to take an aggressive act.